Have you ever noticed, queens, the moment you stop speaking, he starts listening. The moment you stop trying, he starts noticing. Sometimes it's not what you say that shifts the entire dynamic, it's what you don't say. In a world where noise gets attention, your silence becomes the thunder. And in a relationship, silence isn't weakness. It's one of the most dangerous forms of power a woman can hold. Silence is a woman's sharpest sword, felt, not heard. That's the energy we're stepping into today, because it's not about begging to be understood or constantly explaining why you deserve love, effort, or respect. It's about becoming so sure of yourself, so steady in your presence, that he has no choice but to meet you at your level or miss out completely. See, a woman who knows her value doesn't compete. She doesn't chase. She doesn't raise her voice to be chosen. She simply shifts her energy, and he feels it. He feels the absence of your validation. He feels the pause in your approval. He feels the difference when you no longer fight to stay close. And suddenly, he's not so confident anymore. Suddenly, he's looking at you like he's about to lose something he can't replace. Imagine a rose that refuses to bloom under pressure. The gardener can yell, plead, beg, but it will never open unless the conditions are right. That's you. Your energy, your presence, your love. It is not available on demand. It responds to care, to effort, to earned access. And right now, you don't need to speak louder. You need to act softer, but sharper. Softer in voice, sharper in boundary, softer in presence, sharper in principle. These silent power moves aren't about games, they're about grace. And real queens, they don't throw tantrums to get respect. They move in a way that commands it. Because this isn't about controlling him, this is about mastering you. It's about knowing when to speak, when to fall back, and when to let your absence do the explaining. It's about holding your head high when he expects you to fold. It's about walking away from chaos without a single word and leaving him speechless. And beautiful woman, that's where your transformation begins. Not when he chooses you, but when you choose your peace. Not when he changes, but when you stop shrinking. Not when you prove your worth, but when you embody it. You are not just a woman in love. You are a queen learning how to reign. Let's begin. Queens, if this message touched your heart, if it reminded you of the quiet power that's always been inside you, then show some love. Like this video and subscribe to the channel, because we are working hard to bring you content that speaks to your soul, heals your heart, and helps you rise into the woman you were always meant to be. Your journey matters, and we're here walking beside you every step of the way. Number 1. Your silence after his disrespect is the scream he never expected. Have you ever watched a man go completely silent, only after you stop explaining yourself? He wasn't listening when you cried. He wasn't moved when you pleaded. He wasn't shaken when you told him you were hurting. But the day you stopped speaking, the day your phone went quiet, your energy pulled back, your presence faded, that was the scream he never saw coming. Because nothing cuts deeper than the silence of a woman who used to fight to be understood. He thought your love was endless. He thought no matter how many times he dismissed your emotions, you'd still stay, still try, still pour into him. But here's the truth. When a woman finally goes quiet, it's not because she's fine, it's because she's done. And that silence? That's not weakness, that's power. That's a storm wrapped in stillness. That's the moment he realizes he pushed too far. Silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. And your silence right now is saying everything he refused to hear when you were speaking. You're not disappearing out of anger. You're not avoiding him out of revenge. You're choosing yourself in a way that requires no announcement. And that kind of energy, it demands respect. Imagine thunder before a storm. You don't see it, you feel it. That's what your absence becomes. the low rumble in his chest reminding him that you were the calm before the shift. He sees you laughing again, healing again, glowing again, without him. And suddenly, he knows. The woman who once wanted him is now the woman he can't reach. This is the turning point, not because he changed, but because you did. You're no longer trying to fix what broke you. You're no longer shrinking just to keep him comfortable. And it's in your stillness, in your quiet rise, that he starts to value what he lost. You're not just any woman, you are becoming a queen, a woman who doesn't scream to be heard, a woman who speaks in energy, a woman who lets her silence speak louder than his ego. And now he listens, now he watches, but he's too late. Queens, your silence after his disrespect is not weakness, it's wisdom. Say this out loud and write it in the comments to claim your power. My silence speaks louder than his ego. And if this message touched your spirit, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working day and night to bring you life-changing content that helps you heal, rise and reign in your power. Because your story isn't over, it's just getting started. Number 2. Your absence in his chaos will become the peace he can't find anywhere else. He thought your presence was permanent, like background music to his chaos. He assumed you'd stay, fixing every mess, calming every storm, waiting patiently while he figured himself out. But here's the truth no one told him. The woman who brings peace can also become the silence that haunts him. Because your absence, Queen, isn't quiet. It's a shift in the entire atmosphere. It's the calm that exposes the noise he used to hide behind. And when you leave his chaos, he will finally feel the weight of what he lost. Sometimes the loudest sound in a man's life is the silence of the woman who stopped choosing him. Let that settle in. You were not just another voice in his world. You were the pause between his storms, the reason he didn't fall apart. And now? Now he's surrounded by everything he chose, and yet it all feels hollow. Why? Because you, the one who carried grace in your stillness, are gone. Think of a candle in a dark room. It doesn't scream for attention, it simply glows. But once it's gone, the darkness reminds everyone just how powerful that quiet flame was. You were that flame. He didn't see it when you were there because you were consistent, kind, loving. But the moment you withdrew your light, he realized how cold his world really is. This isn't about making him chase you. This is about knowing when your energy is no longer appreciated and leaving without a storm. That's a silent power move. That's when the real shift begins. And when you step back, Queens, something unexpected happens. He starts hearing your silence louder than he ever heard your words. He starts noticing that peace can't be replaced, not by attention, not by noise, not even by another woman. Because peace like yours is not found twice. You are no longer part of the storm. You've risen above it. That's what sets you apart. That's why he starts valuing you. Not when you explain yourself, but when he feels your absence wrap around him like a truth he can't run from. So Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. My absence speaks louder than my words. Let the world know that from this moment forward, you're done shrinking, done explaining, done standing in chaos that doesn't deserve your calm. We are working hard to bring you these life-changing truths. Your time, your power, your peace. It's all yours now. Reign accordingly. Number 3. Your refusal to compete makes you unforgettable. Have you ever noticed how the loudest women in the room often get ignored? But the one who refuses to compete is the one he can't stop thinking about. She's the one who didn't lower herself, didn't join the race, didn't try to prove her worth. And now she's unforgettable, because nothing shakes a man more than a woman who knows she's the prize and doesn't fight to prove it. He expected you to react. He wanted you to feel threatened, to play the game, to prove you were better than her. But you stayed still. You didn't engage. You walked away with your head high and your peace intact. And that moment? That was your power move. That was when he realized you weren't just another option. You were the standard. Don't compete where you don't belong. Elevate instead. That's the wisdom you carry now. When a man sees that you won't play small to be picked, he sees something different in you, something deeper, something divine, because the moment you stop trying to be seen, you become impossible to ignore. Think of a diamond locked behind glass. It doesn't shout, it doesn't beg for attention. It just sits there, brilliant, rare, untouchable. And people line up to admire it, not because it begged to be noticed, but because it simply is that valuable. That's who you are when you step back from competing. He feels that. He watches as you exit the drama, and in your absence, he sees the real difference. She might have won the moment, but you're the one he'll remember forever. You don't win him by proving you're better than her. You win his respect by proving you'll never fight over a man who can't decide. Because queens don't run races, they sit on thrones. And beautiful woman, that throne, it was always yours. He just never expected you to act like it. So let him think he won. Let him chase the noise. Because when silence speaks with confidence, it becomes unforgettable. And that's you now. You're not just walking away, you're rising above. And trust this, he will never find that kind of peace, beauty, and strength again. Write this in the comments and claim it. I don't compete, I reign. Let the world know you're not here to be measured against anyone. You are the measurement. We are working hard to bring you real, powerful, life-changing truths that remind you who you are, not just a woman, but a queen becoming unstoppable. Number 4, you don't chase, because queens don't run after confused men. Have you ever seen a woman lose herself trying to win a man who hasn't even made up his mind? The way she gives, waits, explains, and bends, only for him to stand there, uncertain, half in, half out. That's not love, that's emotional warfare disguised as a connection. And the truth is, chasing a man who's confused is like pouring water into a cracked glass. No matter how much you give, it will never be enough to fill him. Power begins the moment you stop running after what isn't running toward you. That is the move, that is the silent shift that changes everything. Because once you stop chasing a man who can't see you clearly, he has no choice but to face the void your absence leaves behind. He doesn't hear your footsteps anymore, and suddenly he's looking back. Think of a lighthouse. A lighthouse doesn't move, doesn't call, doesn't chase the ships at sea. It just shines, strong, still, present, and only those who are ready to find their way will navigate toward it. That is who you are becoming, a woman so rooted in her value that she no longer confuses movement with meaning. He expected your pursuit. He thought you'd keep trying, keep proving, keep hoping. But when you stop, when you pull your energy back, when you no longer react to his confusion with softness, he starts to feel the impact. Not because you yelled, not because you begged, but because you disappeared. That's the moment he starts to realize. Your presence was never ordinary. And now, beautiful woman, this is where you change the game. You stop running after a man who isn't sure about you. You stop auditioning for a place in a heart that doesn't know how to keep you. You rise, not to be seen by him, but to see yourself. Because a queen doesn't chase confused men. A queen doesn't compete for attention. A queen does not lower her crown for a man who never learned how to stand beside her. Write this in the comments and claim it. I don't chase confused men, I reign. Let the world know you are stepping into a new chapter, one where your love is not hunted, but honored. And if this message awakened something in you, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you powerful, healing, life-changing lessons, because Queens, your reign is just beginning. Number 5. Your boundaries are the new language he has to learn. He heard your yes, loud and clear, but what shook him, what made him pause, think and feel, was your quiet no. No more giving without receiving, no more explaining what should have been obvious, no more access without effort. You didn't need to scream, you didn't need to fight, you just shifted, and suddenly he realized the rules had changed. Boundaries are the language of self-respect, and only the emotionally mature are fluent. That's the new code, and he will either learn it or lose you. A man often doesn't recognize value until it's guarded. When he could reach you any time, when you answered every call, when you explained every feeling, he didn't understand what he had. But the moment you stopped over-giving, the moment you started pausing before replying, the moment you stopped explaining yourself like your love was on trial, everything shifted. That was the beginning of a silent power move he wasn't ready for. Think of a velvet rope at an exclusive event. The moment it's placed, the energy changes. Suddenly, not everyone gets in. Suddenly, people lean in, curious. That's your energy now. You are the invitation, not the party. And he's realizing it takes more than charm to get through your gates. It takes effort, consistency, maturity. And if he doesn't speak the language of your boundaries, then he doesn't belong in your world. He thought he could walk in and out of your life like a revolving door. But now he's learning. Access is earned. You didn't slam the door. You just stopped holding it open. This is what women often forget. The deepest form of attraction is not found in how much you give. It's found in how you protect what you've given. A woman who sets standards teaches him how to love her. A woman who holds her line doesn't need to convince him. She teaches him how to rise to meet her. And to every beautiful woman hearing this is where your reign begins. Not in how loudly you love, but in how powerfully you protect your energy. You are not too much. You were just trying to give your heart to someone who hadn't learned your language. Let him learn or let him leave. Write this in the comments and claim it. My boundaries are not negotiable. Say it boldly, Queens. Let the world know you are no longer explaining your worth. You are enforcing it. We are working hard to bring you the truth, the healing, and the lessons that remind you were never meant to be easy access. You were meant to reign. Number 6. When you stop being available, he starts becoming aware. He didn't notice your presence when you were always there. But now that you've gone quiet, now that your name isn't showing up on his phone, now that you're not waiting for his texts or replying within seconds, suddenly he feels it. The silence is louder. The space you used to fill feels heavier. Because here's the truth, when you stop being available, he starts becoming aware. A man does not wake up when you beg him to see your worth. He wakes up the moment your energy stops showing up where it's no longer respected. You were his comfort zone. You were the one who answered when no one else did. But now, you've withdrawn, not in anger, not in revenge, but in deep awareness of your own value. And that move, that is a silent power play he never saw coming. Distance teaches what presence couldn't. This is more than just pulling back. It's about shifting the emotional balance. He thought you'd always be easy to reach. He thought he had time. But now he's watching you from a distance, feeling the absence of what he never bothered to protect. Think of a star in the sky. It shines every night without asking for attention. But when clouds cover it, when the night goes dark, that's when people finally look up and wonder where the light went. That's you. You were always shining, always giving, always present. But now the light is gone, and he's squinting into the dark, trying to find what he once ignored. Queens, this is the shift that changes everything. Not by speaking louder, not by proving more, but by simply stepping back. You are no longer accessible to a man who treated your presence like it was guaranteed. And now he realizes your availability was never his right, it was your choice. Let this be the beginning of your reign, because once you stop showing up for a man who took you for granted, he begins to feel your power, your value, your impact. And once he becomes aware, that's when the regret begins. That's when the chase begins. But by then, you'll be standing in a new light, one he no longer gets to walk beneath. Write this in the comments and claim it. My absence taught him what my presence never could. We are working hard to bring you content that reminds you of your power, your worth, and your crown. Number 7. Your growth in silence becomes the storm he didn't see coming. He thought your silence meant surrender. He thought your distance meant defeat. He thought walking away would leave you stuck, waiting, hoping, shrinking. But what he didn't see, what he could never prepare for, was the quiet storm you were becoming. While he was busy looking elsewhere, you were growing behind the scenes. And now, that same silence he misunderstood is becoming the very storm that will shake his entire world. The tree grows in silence. The storm arrives without warning. That's you. He didn't hear you coming because your growth wasn't loud. It wasn't chaotic. It was focused, purposeful. It was the kind of transformation that doesn't need applause because the results speak for themselves. He walked away expecting the same version of you to be there if he ever circled back. But now he wouldn't even recognize the woman you've become. Imagine a seed buried deep in the soil. It breaks open in the dark. It pushes through dirt, pressure, and silence. No one claps for it. No one notices. But one day it breaks through the ground and blooms. That's you. You were growing in the dark, healing in the quiet, becoming in the silence. And now that you've risen, you're untouchable. He thought you needed his attention. He thought you were fragile without his presence. But now he's watching you evolve without him. And that is the hardest pill he'll ever swallow. Because queens don't announce their next move. They become the move. And the woman he took for granted, she no longer exists. In her place stands a force he cannot reach, a presence he can't replace, a silence he cannot ignore. You didn't send long texts. You didn't fight to stay. You didn't beg him to understand you. You simply vanished into your power and returned as someone so elevated, so magnetic, that even if he wanted to come back, he'd never be enough for you now. Affirm this in the comments, queens. My growth in silence is his greatest regret. Write it. Claim it. Let the world know you're not just surviving, you're rising. And if this message touched your spirit, if it reminded you of the power you carry even in your quiet moments, then like this video and subscribe. We are working hard to bring you the truth, the healing, and the silent strength that transforms heartbreak into a legacy. Because queens, your silence was never empty. It was preparation for your reign.